You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Been frozen out.
Facing an extinction level event.
We don't fight this fight right now, you're not going to have black on you. In an effort to close this diversity gap, Netflix released its first-of-a-kind announcement where they're going to invest $100 million over the next 5 years to diversity across the board. And I talked a little bit about this last night, and I want to really unpack this because this obviously is focused on content. It's focused on the folks who are going to be with their shows and going to be staff and then those things. But Rob, I really think that when we see these announcements, I really think that we have to be more deliberate. We have to be more focused when people see this and they go, oh my God, this is great. YouTube, they announced this $100 million content creators initiative. And what I said last night is, we've got to be asking different questions of these various entities. Same thing. All these companies that gave money to Black Lives Matter, all these companies that have given money to the NAACP, all these companies that have given money to the National Urban League, and trust me, black organizations have gotten lots of money in the wake of the death of George Floyd.
Yeah.
Okay. But what we have to be doing is we have to be saying, okay, you're creating these initiatives. So if you're Netflix, you're creating this initiative because, frankly, you want more black eyeballs. You want to produce black content to get more black people to watch for longer so they don't watch other platforms. Totally get it. Totally support it. Earlier, I mentioned Netflix. Reed Hastings, their CEO, announced they were placing $100 million in black banks. Totally get it. But this is what I mean by how we must be having a 360-degree view and asking, when these stories come up, and asking the next thing, which really for me is why I've been talking about this is the third reconstruction. And let's just be real clear. White mainstream reporters are not going to ask these questions. And yes, I did reach out to Netflix to get someone to come on this show to discuss this initiative. And I wanted to talk about this. I want to be able to, no, go back to the panel, please. I want to be able to ask them, Rob, okay, you're going to spend $100 million over 5 years to create the content. But I have a series of questions. Are you using black advertising agencies? Are you investing in black media? Are you requiring on your productions that diverse caterers and limousine drivers and IT experts be used as well? See, it's real easy for us to just talk about, okay, just the content. And again, that's important. It's easy for us to also talk about who are your black board members. That's important. Who are your black senior execs. That's important. But we have got to start asking different questions and demanding answers with these initiatives. Say, no. How are you supporting black people holistically in all of your areas, not just you spending money for content? It's actually going to make you more money with your stock price.
Yeah, I mean, you make the most relevant point on this, Roland. Like, this is not when they talk about these efforts, this is not charity. This is an economic decision. This is smart business. That's what that is in the discussion, right? I had on my show Monique Woodward. I haven't aired this show yet. Yours actually came out, by the way, on Disruption Now. But Monique Woodward is investing. She's a black female investor and entrepreneur based in Silicon Valley. But she's invested in a company called Encantos, who she believes is going to take over Disney because they focus better than anybody else on diverse content. All this is about is not only America, the world is becoming more diverse, less non-white. That's where the money is. So, the reason why Peloton joined with Beyonce wasn't because they love Beyonce. Is because, my wife and a lot of Spelman people and people that went to HBCUs, all of them went to buy Pelotons. Why? Because Beyonce did it. Because Black people and Black artists create value, but that equity rarely goes through us. So I think, Roland, if you can give me a little time on this, I think we should think bigger. Is actually why I'm holding an art and equity summit, and we need to look at our value in our art. And there are new opportunities now to invest in crypto art, which allows us to keep and make more money off of our digital art and keep that for the life of the whole contract. So when your art sells the next time for like $6 million, just like, what happened to Dave Chappelle, luckily he was able to get his art back. Most people can't. But now there's new digital technology. When you create art and you first do it, you get royalties for the life of it. And people are selling these crypto art now just in 2020 and 2021 for $6 million sometimes a pop. NBA Top Shot is doing this now with NBA players taking their likes and images, and people are buying them for $200,000. So there is an opportunity now for us to look outside of just these institutions. We can create our own value, and we should be looking towards that.
The reason I'm going here, Candace, and I really hope I can get this brother on the show. I really do, because this is a perfect example of how when you're in a corporate position, you actually change the paradigm. There's a brother who is the general counsel for Coca-Cola, and what happened was he came from Ford, and what he did, he said, you know what, this diversity stuff ain't working. He said, this ain't working. And I'm not satisfied with what these law firms that we at Coca-Cola are paying folks millions of dollars, and they're making money from these companies, making money off of us. Go to my iPad, please. Barely 6 months into his new position as Senior Vice President and General Counsel for the Coca-Cola Company, Bradley Gayton has taken dramatic action to increase diversity and inclusion among the company's outside counsel, telling firms that they must meet new minimum diversity commitments or face consequences ranging from fee reductions to outright firing. He lays out here that, look, this is the only way these things are going to change. See, Candace, this is what I'm talking about. This is somebody who is sitting inside of a company who's going, I'm a Black general counsel. Mm-hmm. I have the power to demand some changes. I have the power to push people to say, no, we got to do more. So all of a sudden, this brother says, yeah. No, y'all got to do more. And so if you don't do this, fees going to get reduced, or we going to replace y'all. What I'm arguing, whether it's Netflix, I saw a story today, Amazon Prime, the CMO, talking about what they're doing, and I'm saying the same thing. Who y'all doing? Who are your Black vendors? Who are you doing business with? Not your content Black vendors. But even of your content Black vendors, are you telling them, I don't want to just see Black actors and Black actresses. I want to know that whole ecosystem of a production, who are you using? Because if you sit back and say, we got 100 different productions, and I get the list and realize, man, y'all paid all this money to transportation, not one Black limo company. Not one Black catering company. See, this to me is how you think beyond just your narrow lane and say, no. We're trying to make sure that a whole collective of black folks get paid.
Listen, all the way down to the makeup artist, right? We do need to see that happening. Otherwise, we get left out of the game. And what this man did at Coca-Cola was a boss move, and key to it was that there were consequences, that he forced people to do, or is forcing people to do, what he thinks is right in the name of diversity, and saying that if you don't do it, there are going to be consequences. So we get caught up in a $100 million number. That's a big number for content.
Right.
But like we already know, that's just a move because we know that the Latino population is one of the largest ticket buying populations and consumers in the world. So that's all about the finances. So you're right. We have to look at more than just the content. And even if we look at the content, who's making the content? Are we doing programs for third graders to expose them to opportunities in the field of television, film, and production? Because that's where we are going to grow more people to continue to have them in the field. Because the pot is very, very small. If you look at the things that we see on whatever platform that you are seeing right now, there's a lot of the same type of black content. And for those of you who watch everything like I do, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then there's some stuff that really is intellectual, but that is very far and few in between. So it's not only content, because you can put a bunch of black content on there that is worthless, or is this something that a lot of people just don't want to see? There's got to be a gamut of content, and there's got to be an understanding that we're going to train people to come up and be a part of these transactions, not just in front of the camera in terms of, actresses, but like you said, all the way down to who is driving the person to the lot in order to service the food. It all makes a difference.
Go to my iPad. Michael, today the Netflix stock closed at $538.85, down $7.85. And after hours, it's up 17 cents. Why am I saying that? You're talking about a company with a market cap in the billions. And I need everybody to understand, I'm not picking on Netflix because I'm going to sit here and mention another. Let me go right here. Lionsgate. I'm going to come back. I'm looking at their stock. I'm going to pull their stock up as well because I need people to understand. I need folks to understand in terms of what we're talking about here. Because all y'all out there who've been watching P-Valley, who watched Survivor's Remorse, who watched Power, and now Power 2, and all of these things, I want y'all to understand, they are targeting you as a black consumer. They're targeting you as a black consumer. Starz is owned by Lionsgate. Go to my iPad. They are a publicly traded company. Their stock today closed up 21 cents at $14.52. So when Starz is running their Black History Month promos, when Starz is promoting that, you should be sitting here going, again, I want y'all to think, we should be sitting here going, who produced the spot? Mm-hmm. What did their staff look like? Was it internal? Was it an external company? If it was an external company, who works at that particular company? We should be then saying, hey, Starz, did y'all run that commercial on MSNBC and CNN? Did y'all run ads in black newspapers, on black-owned websites, on black digital shows? In fact, Starz, are y'all using a black ad agency?
Right.
Or you're using a mainstream agency or a white ad agency, and the white agency that you're using, what's their diversity? How many blacks on their boards of directors? See, what I'm arguing, I spoke to Walmart, MLK Day 2020. I said to Walmart, y'all by yourself can change the entire paradigm. I said, if Walmart says We're going to lay out race equity for every vendor we work with. And it has to be vertical. It has to be horizontal. We want to see diversity in every aspect of your company. Not just, okay, are you sending us a black rep? No. Are you a diverse company? So if y'all want to do business with Walmart, y'all got to be diverse. Do you understand every major company in America that does business with Walmart would have to change overnight? That's what the brother at Coca-Cola is doing. That's what I'm asking for when I'm saying to black actors who are doing deals with Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu and HBO Max and Paramount, use your leverage and your influence to change the paradigm. Don't just get stuck on having diverse talent on the set. Ask holistically, no. How y'all doing it with every company doing business with y'all?
I totally agree, Roland. And, this is something I've been talking about for years. This is basically called renegotiating our relationship with corporate America. This is what this is dealing with. Renegotiating our relationship from being basically just consumers to understanding how corporate America has contracts with various businesses, various smaller businesses, like you just mentioned, the catering services, the limousine services, et cetera. And these are African-American owned businesses as well that can have a fundamental change on our conditions here in this country. If you look at back in about 1981, when Reverend Jesse Jackson and Rainbow Push had their economic boycott of Coca-Cola. It lasted about a month. You look at what the result was. What the result of that was. It was bottling companies for African Americans. It was Coca-Cola putting a certain amount of money in African American owned banks. It was understanding that this was bigger than just having African Americans on a corporate board or diversity. This is dealing with the money and redirecting contracts and dollars to African American owned businesses. If we look at the movie Black Panther, came out in 2018, February 16, 2018. A lot of people beat up and said, "Oh, well, we don't own Black Panther; it's owned by Disney," things like that. What they didn't talk about is that was the first movie filmed at Tyler Perry's new studios in Atlanta that he owns. That was the first movie. Atlanta is like the real Wakanda. A lot of that movie was filmed at a studio owned by a black man, but the other part of the film is that it pumped about $89 million into the Georgia economy. A lot of that money went to black-owned businesses, hairstylists, nail techs, all different caterers, all different types of things like that. So we have to really reorientate ourselves and understand, because a lot of people say we need to build our own. Okay, now after you build your own, okay, now where do you get the business from? And this is a investment on dollars that we spend with these corporations. So this is extremely important. I did a lecture back in 2016 dealing with this called Redistributing the Pain. And we have to understand renegotiating our relationship with corporate America.
Look, folks, I'm going to keep pressing this thing, Candace, because as I said last night, if we're trying to sit here and move this thing inch by inch, that's not happening. And it also means that we still have independent products. I support black streaming services, Quayle TV. There's some others that are going to be coming down the pipeline. Folks are announcing because I believe having more of those platforms. But this is just very basic for everybody who's watching. If we are going to reward companies with our eyeballs and with our dollars, Candace, we must have the guts to say what is being returned to us. It means nothing if we as black people continue to increase the value of companies and people who don't look like us are benefiting from financially from that. I'm not, I keep telling folks that scene from Malcolm X, I'm not satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
We do have to ask for more. We do have to ask for more accountability too. We also can connect the dots. Right, this weekend we've got the Golden Globes coming up. If you look at the 87 voting members of the Golden Globe board, those journalists, none of them are people of color, making decisions about the Golden Globes, which really dictate often what happens in the Oscars. This is what we do. We compare the two. So we need to ask Netflix to say, hey, we're going to need you to put pressure on the Golden Globes, on organizations, too, that are doing us a disservice by not allowing us to be on a board and represent what we think should be the best picture or the best actress. So
No. I'm gonna take this thing further, Candace.
Yeah.
No. See, I'm gonna take it. See, I'm going for the money. This was a graphic that Kerry Washington tweeted out. She's tweeted out several times today. Go to my iPad, y'all. Come on. Okay, I need y'all to increase the graphic. This is what she sent out. Okay, not a single. Go full screen, please. Not a single black member out of 87. That's what she tweeted out. See, I'm going to the money, Candace. I don't want Netflix to do that. I want NBC that airs the Golden Globes. See, I'm going to the money.
Yeah,
the Golden Globes is funded from their TV contract. NBC, Comcast should be saying, Hollywood Foreign Press Association, your contract will be in jeopardy if you don't add some black members.
Ooh, I have a lot to say about this, especially when we think about Byron Allen and Comcast and NBC and everything that they did. Listen, you are correct. Wherever the powers may be, they need to put the powers in the right place to diversify and tell people there are going to be consequences if something doesn't happen. And you are correct. If you go to the source, it makes no sense that not one person sits on that board or that voting panel, 87 people, not one person of color, not one person of color in all of the universe could they find to be on this panel of voters. This makes no sense. And you're right, we do have to put the pressure on and not get caught up in the numbers. $100 million is a lot, but what are we going to do otherwise?
Because see, Rob, here's the deal. I haven't heard a single black organization, Rob, not one, say since the Los Angeles Times report came out, en masse, black people do not turn on the Golden Globes when it airs this weekend. Since they could not somehow nominate Delroy Lindo for the Five Bloods, could not nominate Judas and the Black Messiah, could not nominate, just a plethora of movies. Since y'all just couldn't overlook black folks, we gonna overlook your little award show. And trust me, NBC Comcast wouldn't like that because that means it drives the viewership down. It drives the dollars down, which means they've given guarantees to advertisers what the ratings are going to be. See, if you don't follow the money, you cannot change the dynamics.
Absolutely.
Final point, go ahead.
No, I agree. And, the Judas and the Black Messiah should have been nominated. There should have been more nominations, but when nobody on the board is black, why are you surprised? And so there should be people speaking out because guess what? This is not only the right thing to do. This is economics. Like I said, we control economics, and it's time for us to take more control of our own destiny and really understand our value and start asserting it.
Simple as that, folks. Rob, Candace, Michael, I truly appreciate it. Thank you so very much, folks. We thank all of you for watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. Please support what we do by joining our Bring the Funk fan club. We are going to continue demanding equity for our people. Why? Because if you do not pony up financially, then what are we doing? What is really happening? What are we building? What are we gathering? How are we changing our communities for good? All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.